Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining me in the Snake Pit again. I'm Snake, and today we're covering another war type, and it's Undead Horde. All right, here we are. We're doing another video. This one is about Undead Horde. For those of you that have seen my videos, welcome back. I thank you so much for your support, and I'm quite happy to be putting these videos out for you. For those that haven't seen any of my stuff yet, these videos are based on a year-long study that I did for War Defense, and these are the stats, the historical data of what was observed. So this should be able to help you figure out trends and to better prepare yourselves to squeeze out those few extra precious flags off the opponents and help you get that war win. So let's get right to it. This war type, so Undead Horde, it's one where it affects both the attacking and defending team. It's an even playing field. Every 5 turns, every hero will get a skeleton minion summoned for them. It's not the best minion out there. It's quite weak actually. It's 10% HP, 10% attack, so it's not high up there on the scale to make a huge impact, but it is there. The 10% attack and 10% HP, it comes from the owner. Just so you know, maybe people may not be aware, it's not from the caster like for other minions. So it's whatever the owner's got as base stats, that's what that's based off of, and that 10% attack and 10% HP for that skeleton minion will come from that. So not surprisingly, as you can imagine, and I'm sure you've all seen, this war type has the most amount of minion summoners on the defense teams. In fact, it's by sheer numbers, 10% more than the next war type. The next war type, of course, number 2, is Equalizer, and they're heavily used because minions don't disappear in that one. Almost 1 out of 5 heroes that are put on defense teams is a minion summoner. 19.4% to be precise, during my year-long war study. 19.4% of the heroes put on the field were summoners. And there's a lot of reasons, a lot of theories for why this might be good. For one, there's there's the minion wall, right, to help defend and keep your team alive longer. It's something for heroes like Froth and for Freya to boost, right, because their minions affect the stats of other minions. Not all minion summoners are built the same. Some do better than others, but the one thing that I've noticed in this war type, is that they don't do that well. And I think the reason for this is because this war type also has the highest percentage of anti-minion heroes. So these are the heroes that will make you pay for having a minion on the board, and or ones that will affect you putting out a minion, thinking Bara, Skadi, Uraeus. These kind of heroes are much more plentiful. These anti-minion heroes are designed to better the minion summoners. So with that increase, you're going to see a decrease in the effectiveness of these minion summoners. I'm going to give you an example. So I kind of looked at the numbers because I was very curious about this. And we've already determined that Undead Horde has the most amount of minion heroes and the highest amount of anti-minion. Undead Horde minions, and we'll get into the specific numbers after for the survivability rates, but the minion heroes are coming in at 23.8% across all positions. That's the survivability rate. Anti minion heroes are 30.1. It's a 7% swing. And that's because of all those minions out there that these antis can take advantage of. When we look at the second most popular war type for these types of heroes, and that's the Equalizer, there's a lot less anti-minion heroes in that one. And the anti-minion heroes are roughly the same kind of percentage. It's 30.1. It's exactly the same. But in Equalizer, these minion summoners actually do 27.2. They're actually at kind of average, as opposed to being way below the average in the in Undead Horde. I attribute this to the amount of use that people use these anti ones in. So to sum up, teams with anti minion heroes will do better than teams with minion heroes. All right, enough about that. I do plan to cover extensively later on about minion heroes and other types of hitters and damage doers and support heroes. But for now, we're focused on finishing off my series about the healers. So without further ado, let's jump right into that. All right, Undead Horde, general formations. Here's the average survivability rate, and the number, of course, in brackets is how many occurrences I've seen during the year-long war study. So 1,216 different teams for this war type. The average survivability rate is 27.2. It is the lowest survivability rate of all war types. What this means is you shouldn't get too frustrated when your team is not stopping half the hits. It's if you are, you've got a stellar team out there. But it's not really a surprise because as I said earlier in this video, the both sides are getting the same benefit out of this. So you can see the numbers for how it breaks down the usage of how people play with their healers. One healer, as per normal, is the highest, and we're going to go through these general formations. And as per always, I'm going to break down one healer and two healer formations further because there's more to learn from just the general formation. So no healers is 27.4%. It's right about average. It's not terrible because it's sitting right around average. But outside of Rush Wars, this is the lowest that no healers ranks of all the types. So there's a lot of different formations that do much better than no healers in this one. One healer, 27.9%, a little bit above average. Not a bad go. We'll break it down further. Two healers is 26.1, going down. And three healers, 16.6%. This is not shocking. This typically happens in most war types, except for a few. We've covered one already that three healers is a good go. And then 4 healers and 5 healers, as you can see, I have 0 occurrences, no data on that. People aren't brave enough to try that in this war type. Okay, now we're going to break down the single healer formations. As we saw, overall, it comes in at 27.9, so it's pretty average if you consider all 3 different types of formation together. Single healer at tank, 31.2. This is a winner in almost every war type. And I can't stress enough how effective this is. Putting one healer at tank. Now it should be, a good healer. Now which ones are good? That's coming soon. I'm going to cover these and I'm going to pound them out quickly to show you which healers do better in which wars and which war types and positions. But one healer at tank, it's good to go. One healer at flank dips down as per usual. 25.3. It's if you got one healer, it's not a great spot to put it. And then one healer on the wing is right on average. But we know that there's always a big difference between these. If you've seen my other videos, you probably can guess how this one breaks down. And we're going to do it because reviving heroes always have a certain effect on this. So we'll break it down. One healer on the wing, when they can revive and cannot revive. So when one healer can revive, it's 30.2. Yeah, that's typical. We always see it higher than the overall average. And then when a healer cannot revive, 24.7. It's always a bad idea to put a single healer on the wing when it can't revive. Just a bad idea. To note, this is the best ranking for a single healer on the wing overall, that 27.9, of all the war types. And also with when one healer can revive, it's also the highest ranked formation within its own war type of all the war types. So right now we can already see out of those two stats that I just gave you that a healer on the wing here is not a bad go. Let's go to two healers now. And if you can recall, two healers overall was 26.1. It was quite low. So wing flank, 21.8%. That's really low. And we've got almost 50 different occurrences of this to get an average. Again, that is pretty solid average. So it's not likely to come up very quickly, even with a string of good luck. Wing tank is 24.7. Wing 35.1. We're going to look into that one a little bit more again because of I like to check out how revivers affect that, and I'm convinced that that is the best place for them. Flank, not so good. And flank tank, 28.5. We've seen this before, that flank tank is also often a good formation to use in most war types. Because single healer at tank is always one of the best as well. So it's just getting some extra support with the flank. Now we're going to break down the two healers on the wing. So you can see right now, 35.1% is very high. We don't have a lot of occurrences though. Out of the three different types of formations, no revivers, one reviver and the other one would not be one, or where both healers are revivers. There's a total of 12 occurrences. It's not high. We see the most occurrences in Rush, of course, but let's examine this. So with no revivers, so two healers on the wings, none of them are revivers. 44.0%. We'll go a little further here. When one of those healers is a reviver, it's 30.8%. And when both of them are revivers, 42.9%. So these numbers that you see before you are number 1, 2, and 4 in rankings. So clearly there's something here with a wing formation with healers. And if you recall, they were also strong with the single healer. So there might be something about Undead Horde. And I think that they're more effective on the wings than other types of wars, because the skeleton minions are actually buying them enough time where these slow healers on the wings are able to get off their special while the team is still in play. With a single healer, it still wasn't up to snuff, and that one's never been good. But any combination with 2 healers on the wings has been great. Again, let's take it with a grain of salt. I don't want to pump the tires too much on these because there's only been 12 occurrences. But for what has been done, it's they're pretty nice numbers. Okay, we are now at the summary. This is where I will show you the top formations for Undead Horde and the worst ones as well. So our average 27.2. Remember, this is the lowest survivability rate of all war types. Yes, there were 2 that were at 27.6, but this one is the lowest. Single reviving healer on the wing, 30.2%. Single healer at tank, it's perennially one of the best formations that you can do. It's not as flashy as the others, but it's effective. And then lastly, 2 healers, wing, when it's got no revivers, where one of them's a reviver and both of them can revive. 44, 30.8, and 42.9%. So right away we're seeing a trend that is different than other war types. The wings are not a bad place to put them, unless of course you're doing a single healer that cannot revive. But outside of that, there might be something here. Now for the worst. 2 healers flank, 24.5%. 2 healers wing flank, 21.8%. For some reason, flank is it does not seem to be an ideal spot for healers in many of these war types. And then 3 healers at 16.6%. You don't want to use 3 healers. Nobody's used 4 or 5, if you recall. So you may want to steer away from that, just judging by we often see that slope of numbers as you increase the healers up to a certain point. It starts dropping off heavily. So these are your best and worst formations when it comes to Undead Horde. I thank you very much for coming again to see my video, and I hope that it helps you out. What we've seen out of this one is that there is seems to be an increase in effectiveness of having healers on your wings in this war type, which is kind of unique compared to other ones. Some of your regular formations that normally do well, single healer at tank, and of course, whenever you have a reviver, stick it on the wing. It's always going to be solid for you. Lastly, don't forget the minion summoners versus anti-minion heroes. Anti-minion is going to win every time. There's a lot more in this war type that are used on war defense because they're taking advantage of some weak skeleton minions. So be cognizant of that. If you have the choice between the two, I'd say go with your anti-minion heroes. and I think that you're going to do fine. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out. It shows me that you really enjoy my content, and it helps me look forward to wanting to put out a lot more videos and a lot more content for all of you. So until next time, I'm Snake, and I'm here to help you defend yourself.